Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 2,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
The Minnesota Vikings just pulled off what might be the most underrated quarterback acquisition in recent NFL history, and the football world is still trying to process what just happened. While everyone was busy obsessing over flashy free agency signings and blockbuster trades, the Vikings quietly secured former #1 overall pick Kyler Murray on a league minimum contract. Yes, you read that right, league minimum. The same quarterback who once commanded a massive contract extension from the Arizona Cardinals is now heading to the frozen tundra of Minnesota for pennies on the dollar, and the implications are absolutely staggering. Let's cut through the noise and get real about what's happening here. Kyler Murray has been massively underutilized and fundamentally misunderstood during his tenure in Arizona. This isn't some washed-up has-been we're talking about. This is a dynamic playmaker who showed flashes of absolute brilliance before injuries and organizational dysfunction derailed his Cardinals career. Now he's getting a fresh start with a Vikings team that already won 9 games last year, with what can only be described as a revolving door of quarterback chaos. The offense was high-variance garbage at times, yet they still managed to stay competitive. Imagine what happens when you inject actual stability and proven talent into that equation. The height debate is already dominating social media, and we need to address the elephant in the room immediately. Or should I say, the shorter-than-average quarterback in the room. Yes, Kyler Murray isn't winning any height contests in the NFL. The internet loves to joke that he's 5'2", though he's actually listed at 5'10". Either way, the short jokes are inevitable, and they're going to flood comment sections all summer long. But here's the thing that analytics nerds and film junkies already know. Height is one of the most overblown quarterback concerns in modern football. Let's talk numbers, because the data completely demolishes this narrative. According to recent statistics tracking batted passes since 2024, Kyler Murray ranks near the bottom of the league with only 10 batted passes. For context, quarterbacks like Baker Mayfield, Kirk Cousins, Jaden Daniels, Cooper Rush, and Geno Smith all had significantly more passes knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Even Russell Wilson, who stands 5'10" and shares Murray's height disadvantage, also had just 10 batted passes. The myth that shorter quarterbacks automatically struggle with passes getting batted down simply doesn't hold up under scrutiny. The real secret isn't height, it's awareness, arm angles, and the ability to find throwing lanes through traffic. Kyler Murray has been his current height his entire football career, or at least ever since he stopped growing. He's had to navigate this challenge through high school, college at Oklahoma, where he won the Heisman Trophy, and throughout his NFL career. This isn't new territory for him. Meanwhile, Brock Osweiler stood 6'7" and had major problems with batted passes throughout his career. Height gives you advantages, sure, but it's far from the determining factor in quarterback success. ESPN analyst Louis Riddick, who is known for being very good and refreshingly blunt with his assessments, completely broke down the height issue when Murray was originally drafted. His analysis definitively showed that Kyler's height is not a legitimate concern. The tape from Murray's NFL career supports this conclusion. He demonstrates the ability to throw into tight windows, layer the football with effectiveness, and deliver accurate passes between the numbers. When you actually watch the film instead of obsessing over combined measurements, you see a quarterback with elite arm talent and touch. Speaking of that film, the Kyler Murray highlight reel is absolutely glorious. Those early season throws, those touch passes that drop perfectly into receivers' hands, the ability to extend plays with his legs and then deliver accurate strikes downfield. It's beautiful football, plain and simple. Sure, the last couple of years have been rough between injuries and Arizona being the organizational dumpster fire that Arizona has been, but some of those early throws showcase exactly why he was the #1 overall pick in the first place. The talent is undeniable. The Kevin O'Connell connection is already generating interesting storylines. Remember when O'Connell was mic'd up and told Anthony Richardson, "You're a bad dude, yes sir?" and everyone immediately assumed Richardson was destined to become a Viking? Then more footage emerged of O'Connell telling multiple players to Keep doing your thing, love you, bro. And it became clear that maybe Kevin O'Connell is just genuinely a nice guy who connects with players. As a former third-round pick himself, perhaps O'Connell understands the journey of quarterbacks who face adversity and criticism. Although, can a third-round pick even be considered a bust? Probably not, but the point stands. Now let's talk about Justin Jefferson, because this man deserves his flowers and then some. Jefferson has been an absolute trooper throughout his Vikings career, dealing with a parade of quarterbacks that would drive most elite receivers to demand trades. The list of signal callers who have thrown him passes is genuinely wild. In college at LSU, he caught passes from Joe Burrow. Then with the Vikings, he's worked with Kirk Cousins, Sean Mannion, Nick Mullins, Josh Dobbs, Jaron Hall, aka the Mormon Missile, Sam Darnold, Carson Wentz, and now Kyler Murray. That's not even counting backup appearances. The fact that Jefferson is currently on pace to potentially break Jerry Rice's all-time receiving records while catching passes from this rotating cast of characters is absolutely insane. It's not even properly appreciated because he's done it without the benefit of consistent elite quarterback play. Imagine what his numbers would look like if he'd had the same quarterback for his entire career so far. The mind boggles at the possibilities. The question now becomes, is Kyler Murray the best quarterback Justin Jefferson has ever played with? Kirk Cousins was pretty solid during their time together. Sam Darnold had that one fantastic season. But Murray, when healthy and in the right system, might represent the highest ceiling quarterback Jefferson has worked with yet. Jefferson just got his 2027 salary fully guaranteed, signaling the Vikings' long-term commitment to building around him. He's not going anywhere. The offense is shaping up beautifully with Kyler Murray at quarterback, Aaron Jones in the backfield after taking a pay cut to stay in Minnesota, Jefferson and Jordan Addison as the receiving threats, and T.J. Hawkinson at tight end after also taking a pay cut to remain with the team. The offensive line features Christian Darrisaw, Blake Brandel, a center to be determined, Dalton Reisner, and Brian O'Neill. That's a legitimate supporting cast. When you pair that offense with an already solid Vikings defense, you're looking at a team that could make serious noise. This is a squad that won 9 games last year, despite offensive inconsistency and chaos at the quarterback position. With even moderate stability and above-average production from the offense, this team has the foundation to compete for the division and make a deep playoff run. The pieces are already in place. They just needed the quarterback situation resolved, and bringing in Kyler Murray on a bargain contract might be the shrewdest move of the entire offseason. Let's address J.J. McCarthy, because the young quarterback drafted to be the future is now facing an unexpected situation. McCarthy could and absolutely should compete for the starting job. Competition makes everyone better, but right now, after injuries derailed his last 2 seasons, it's difficult to rely on him as the immediate answer. That doesn't mean he can't still become the guy. He needs to get healthy, get on the field, and compete. The flashes are there. You cannot teach the clutch gene that McCarthy demonstrated in crucial moments. Everything else needs work, but when the game is on the line, you kind of want him out there making plays. Here's a perspective that should ease concerns about McCarthy's development timeline. Sam Block pointed out that J.J. McCarthy is actually younger than Carson Beck, who's expected to be a high draft pick this year. He's younger than Cade McNamara, Shedeur Sanders, Diego Pavia, who will probably have to switch to receiver, Garrett Nussmeier, Quinn Ewers, Jackson Dart, and Jalen Milroe from Alabama. McCarthy is younger than all these quarterbacks who are just entering the draft process now. The kid has time. There's no need to rush him back from injury or throw him into a situation he's not ready for. Let him develop properly while Kyler Murray holds down the fort. The financial aspect of this move cannot be overstated. According to CBS reporting on guaranteed money spent during the first week of free agency, the Vikings ranked dead last at just $7.39 million in guarantees. That list included the Eagles, Packers, Steelers, and Lions, all respectable organizations. The Vikings are clearly the best team among that group, and they accomplished it without breaking the bank. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of massive free agency contracts and blockbuster signings. Everyone loves the spectacle of Super Bowl run proclamations and splashy additions. But here's the truth that veteran front offices understand. Free agency is essentially a tax on teams that can't draft and develop talent properly. The Vikings are sitting on their hands for several strategic reasons. First, they already have a pretty damn good roster. Second, they're cleaning up salary cap issues from the previous couple of years. Third, and most importantly, acquiring Kyler Murray on a league minimum contract is absolutely huge. It's a monstrous value play that gives them flexibility to address other needs without hamstringing their future. This is smart team building, even if it doesn't generate the same headlines as throwing guaranteed money at every available player. Now let's talk about something that has Vikings fans genuinely excited: the upcoming rivalry uniforms. The Vikings are set to be featured in this year's rivalry uniform series, with each team in the NFC North and AFC South included. An artist rendition has been making the rounds on social media, and the design is genuinely impressive. We're talking all-black uniforms with purple accents. The black and purple combination might infringe on Baltimore Ravens territory a bit, but who cares? These look fantastic. The design features a black matte helmet, which immediately elevates the entire look. The jersey and pants showcase a tree outline design that gives them a distinct Minnesota vibe with Timberwolves-adjacent aesthetics. These uniforms are looking really good, and fans would absolutely buy them in droves. Here's a suggestion for Nike and the NFL. Instead of designing your own uniforms for these rivalry games or any special editions and then inevitably getting roasted on social media anyway, why not put it out to the fans? Let talented designers and Photoshop artists submit concepts. Pick the one that gets the most traction and positive reception on social platforms, compensate that person appropriately, and then produce the winning design. It's crowdsourcing at its finest, and you're guaranteed to end up with something people actually want to buy. In other news that could impact the Vikings roster, the Tennessee Titans are releasing cornerback L'Jarius Sneed. Sneed has had 2 injury-plagued seasons in Tennessee that didn't live up to expectations, but before that, he was an absolute dog with the Kansas City Chiefs. For 4 years with Kansas City, he demonstrated elite inside-outside flexibility and playmaking ability. Sneed fits exactly the type of profile the Vikings typically target. A talented veteran, coming off down years, who can be signed at a discount, he provides that third cornerback with inside-outside flexibility that modern defenses require. He probably comes cheap after the Tennessee disaster. He counts against compensatory pick calculations minimally, and he represents a smart reload opportunity. Getting L'Jarius Sneed would be a savvy move. Speaking of hot takes, we need to address Colin Cowherd briefly, even though giving him attention probably isn't wise. When Sam Darnold was with the Vikings, Cowherd was all aboard the Minnesota bandwagon because Darnold attended USC, and Cowherd has an inexplicable obsession with USC quarterbacks. Then when the Vikings drafted J.J. McCarthy, Cowherd completely roasted him and refused to acknowledge any moments of brilliance McCarthy displayed. Now, with the Kyler Murray acquisition, Cowherd has announced that every year he picks a team that's already pretty good but will be much better than everybody thinks, and this year he's picking Minnesota. He argues that Kyler Murray immediately raises the floor for the Vikings. Here's the thing, we don't really give Cowherd the time of day because he's proven himself to be a blowhard whose opinions are shaped more by narrative than substance. The game has passed him by. His takes on the Vikings have been all over the map based on whatever serves his argument in the moment. It was nice when he liked the Vikings and Sam Darnold, and it's fine that he's now predicting success with Murray, but his opinion fundamentally doesn't matter. He lacks credibility when it comes to consistent, thoughtful analysis. In more heartwarming news, Vikings legends Adam Thielen and C.J. Ham will hold a joint press conference at TCO Performance Center next Thursday to officially close out their NFL careers. The press conference is scheduled for 4 p.m. Central Time on March 20th. C.J. Ham is a dude's dude, the epitome of a true Viking who absolutely should be in the Ring of Honor. His journey from undrafted tailback to one of the league's premier fullbacks embodies everything the Vikings organization claims to value. He's a local product from Minnesota State who made it through sheer determination and excellence at his craft. Adam Thielen's situation is more complicated. He's solid and represents a great local story, having gone from undrafted out of Minnesota State Mankato to becoming one of the league's top receivers. But the way his Vikings tenure ended leaves a somewhat bitter taste. He was cut the first time, then essentially forced his way out the second time by refusing a pay cut and requesting a trade. There's a standing policy among fans and media outlets that should be respected. Family members and significant others are considered non-combatants until they inject themselves into the narrative. Thielen's wife did exactly that, which made her fair game for criticism. You have to respect the loyalty she showed to her husband, similar to how agents take slings and arrows to protect their clients' best interests. Loyalty is admirable. But the whole situation created unnecessary drama. Regardless of how things ended, both Thielen and Ham deserve respect for their contributions. C.J. Ham, in particular, deserves celebration. If he wanted to play one more year, the Vikings could bring in Eli Hayden out of Navy and add some weight to him. Academy players have to maintain specific weight requirements according to their height due to military regulations, but once they're out, those restrictions disappear. Remember that C.J. Ham was a tailback when he entered the league, and Zach Line out of Southern Methodist was also a tailback before converting to fullback with the Vikings. The pipeline exists. Get Hayden, add some weight through proper training and nutrition, and you've got yourself a fullback. Come on, baby. We've got a stew going. The pieces are falling into place for what could be a special season in Minnesota. You've got Kyler Murray bringing legitimate quarterback talent at a bargain price. You've got Justin Jefferson, one of the game's premier receivers, locked up long-term and entering his prime years. You've got a solid offensive supporting cast with Aaron Jones, Jordan Addison, and T.J. Hawkinson. The offensive line provides adequate protection. The defense is already competitive. The coaching staff, led by Kevin O'Connell, has proven they can scheme effectively and develop players. This isn't about wild speculation or unrealistic expectations. This is about recognizing that the Vikings have assembled a roster capable of competing with anyone in the NFC. They won 9 games last year despite quarterback instability. They're not some rebuilding project hoping to exceed expectations. They're a legitimately good team that just got significantly better by adding a talented quarterback who has something to prove. The narrative around Kyler Murray will focus on his height, his injuries, and his struggles in Arizona. That's lazy analysis. The reality is that Murray is a former Heisman Trophy winner and #1 overall pick who possesses elite arm talent, mobility, and playmaking ability. He's joining an offensive system designed by one of the league's brightest offensive minds in Kevin O'Connell. He's surrounded by weapons and a supporting cast that can elevate his game. Most importantly, he's hungry to prove that the Arizona years were an aberration caused by circumstances beyond his control rather than a true reflection of his abilities. The Vikings didn't make splashy moves in free agency. They didn't hand out massive guaranteed contracts. They didn't trade away future draft capital for marginal upgrades. Instead, they made calculated decisions, cleaned up their salary cap situation, and acquired a starting-caliber quarterback on a minimum contract. That's championship-level roster construction, even if it doesn't generate the same media frenzy as more aggressive approaches. As winter continues to grip Minnesota with predictions of 20 inches of snow overnight from Saturday to Sunday, Vikings fans have something warm to look forward to. The frozen tundra is about to witness something special. This team has the talent, the coaching, the leadership, and now the quarterback to make a serious run. The rest of the NFL is sleeping on Minnesota, treating them as an afterthought while focusing on the usual suspects. That's perfectly fine. Let them sleep. The Vikings will be ready when it matters most. The beautiful, glorious Saturday that awaits is just the beginning. This is a new dawn for Vikings football, and the foundation has been laid for sustained success. Kyler Murray in purple and gold represents more than just a roster addition. It represents a commitment to winning now while maintaining future flexibility. It represents smart decision-making in an era where teams often mortgage their future for immediate gratification. It represents the kind of move that separates contenders from pretenders. So make sure you're following along with every development as this story continues to unfold. Drop your thoughts in the comments about what you expect from Kyler Murray in Minnesota. Are you buying into the hype or staying skeptical? How do you think J.J. McCarthy factors into the equation moving forward? What position should the Vikings address in the upcoming draft? This is the kind of content and discussion that makes following football year-round worthwhile, and your engagement drives the conversation forward. Don't forget to smash that like button if you're excited about the Kyler Murray era in Minnesota. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we're going to be bringing you comprehensive coverage of every twist and turn as the Vikings build toward what could be a special season. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, whether it's breaking news, film analysis, or hot takes about the latest developments. The Vikings news cycle never stops, and neither do we. This is just the beginning of what promises to be an absolutely fascinating journey. The pieces are in place, the roster is talented, the coaching is strong, the quarterback situation is resolved. Everything is pointing toward a Vikings team ready to exceed expectations and shock the football world. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over. It's only just getting started, and you won't want to miss a single moment of what comes next. We've got a stew going, baby, and it's about to be absolutely glorious.
Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 2,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button right now.